Hello and welcome back to the party. It is the Thrive 5 Daily Mobility Series. It is week 5 and we are on to our second lower body session of the week. Equipment-wise, what you are going to need today, I've got trusty rusty step ladder here. That's just to serve as somewhere to put my knee and shin, my lower leg up against for a hip flexor stretch, that calf stretch, okay? You could be using the edge of a wall or a couch or a chair, just somewhere to wedge that knee on the floor and the lower limb flexed up against. You're also gonna want somewhere to be able to cushion your knee depending on what your mat is like. I'm gonna be using those yoga blocks to pop under my knee. Alas, let's get this party started. We're gonna be looking at this 90-90 base position, like so. We're going to be doing rotations from side to side with this added hinge. Now, you may have encountered this move thus far. What I want you to do is use your hands as little as you can, okay? By all means, use them. The further you lean back on your hands, for example, the more accessible this position can be. But if you're finding it easy or you want to challenge it further, you can sit taller, ultimately then coming away without any hands, okay? Now the forward lean, we're going to be thinking about sending the bum back, pulling the chest towards the leg, and then driving it away and repeat these rotations, okay? So today is just going to be about trying to level up that position and use less reliance on the hands. So join me down here if you will for this first exercise and a 60-second window. Alrighty. So from here, I'm going to pull my knees apart, prying them apart as actively as I can, dropping this knee down, internally rotating the hip, sending the chest down, feeling that big lengthening happening on the back of the hip there, then driving tool, pulling open. Nice, a huge move here for the hips. Should feel lots going on. And that's going to do it right there, friend. Next up, we're going to be coming over to our wall or in front of our couch or chair or what have you for our couch stretch with some T-spine rotation in here. So I lied when I said it was all lower body. Alas, make sure you've got some cushioning. It could be a pillow, a rolled up mat, or indeed if your mat is adequate. I am going to sidle on up. I'm going to pop one foot up against that wall or whatnot, in this case the ladder, cushioning my knee as far up against it, really wedge it up against there if you can, and then bringing that other foot round, okay? Should probably already feel some action from here. I'm then going to send the hips towards the floor, driving this knee out, and then I will begin my T-spine rotation, okay? I'm going to get my clock on for 45 seconds on this side. Get my hip back down, squeeze, reach the elbow towards the floor into that hip, and then opening around. Mondu. Let's change things up. Try and get your knee right flush to the floor and the shin up against that wall. Let's get ourselves in position and back to the party. Reaching towards the floor with that elbow. And that's going to do it for that side. Come on out, let's clear our floor space and let's come into our last drill. Get trusty rusty out the way now. Next up, we're going to be looking at a Jefferson curl. Now, a Jefferson curl is going to be looking at spinal segmentation from a standing position, rolling down into as deep a flexion as you can, finding your end position. Now, I lied when I said about our equipment because potentially, depending on your current range of motion, you are going to want somewhere to elevate your feet so that your hands can ultimately pass your toes. Now, that is a lot to ask, so it's probably not going to be necessary. But I don't want to sell you short, and I will demonstrate using myself here of what that might look like. All right, again, just using these versatile blocks, because ultimately we'll get to the place where we're going to probably load this movement, and you want the weight to be able to go past your feet if you need to challenge your own personal mobility. So, whether you're on the floor or indeed on some elevation, my feet are together, my butt is squeezed with my knees locked, and now what I don't want to do is hinge like we're deadlifting. I want that pelvis tucked under, and we're going to be nice and tight from there. Okay, this is going to be our last pose. It's 1 minute. So from here, with the hands in front of the body, I'm going to tuck the chin to the chest, roll the shoulders, and then thinking about one vertebrae at a time, hinging over. As I get myself on down to my end range, so you notice my fingers there are just clearing past the toe, holding at that deepest stretch no matter where you are, and make sure you're not bending your knees to get as low as possible, and then roll back up the way you came, thinking about piling one vertebrae on top of another until you eventually stand tall before entering the next repetition. I repeat, do not compromise any of your positions in order to get lower. This will take lots of practice and time depending on your current start position. Do not worry if you can't touch your toes yet. Again, that will simply come with more practice of these positions. Again, good hold at the end, rolling back to the top. And would you believe that is going to do it for our window? By all means, feel free to practice more reps there if your time will allow. And I can only look forward to seeing you for tomorrow's session for more upper body work. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm going to see you then. You can find me in the comment section below if there's anything you would like to discuss.